Oh, good evening, folks. How are you doing tonight on a Thursday night? You know what time it is, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on that West Coast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for Trip Talk. Hey, we got a good one lined up for you, folks. Come on in. Hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host in, Doc Remy. Miss in the building herself. How are you doing tonight, Doc?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, man, Doc, I'm telling you, man, this is one of those nights where I got gremlins over here. I got gremlins over there, man, and they are just shaking and rattling and everything tonight. But listen, we got a great panel lined up for the show tonight.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, man.
I'm telling you. I mean, we got some heavy hitters. So we're going to go ahead and fire this thing up. We're going to get it started. We're going to go ahead and bring our special guest in. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my big sister, Foxy. How are you doing tonight, my sister?
I am fantastic. I hope you guys are as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We want to thank you for joining us tonight with Remy and KSolo, the podcast show on Trip Talk, where we're going to be talking about one of your favorite events, your one of your babies that you cradle rock a little bit there with you and Butta, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We have a slight delay, folks, but come on in. We're going to get everything worked out. C1s, thank you for joining us tonight. But listen, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring your right hand or you his right hand in, aka Butta. How are you doing tonight, sir? I think Butta got your mic's mute. All right, he's gonna work that out. Come on in, folks. Come on in. You know what time it is.
All right, there we go. I had a big.
There we go, man.
And now I'm good. I'm official now. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Indeed. But listen, man, I would be remiss if I did not give you two outstanding individuals a round of applause for all that you do for the motorcycle community and just the hard work that you put into this event, because this event has taken off and it has become a national event, not just local, it's national. And with that being said, we have one more panel member we're gonna bring in tonight. We're gonna bring in Kut. Kut, how you doing, Kut?
Hey, how is everybody? Welcome. Thank you. I'm blessed and highly favored to join this panel from chilly, Florida.
Which part of Florida? North Florida, South Florida, or West Florida?
I'm on the East Coast.
Okay. You know, Florida has its own regions down there. Well, listen, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Tonight episode we're going to be talking about the Proc, the 2026 Proc, and kind of fill people in that's maybe new to it and never heard of it, never attended. Our two panel members, Doc, Remy, and Kut, have never attended. So Foxy and Butta, if you please, when we go through this right here, just welcome them, let them know what to expect, and you know, we're gonna have a great time with it.
All right.
Foxy.
Foxy, you want to set it off?
Well, you know, it's not often that we hear folks say that they've not ever attended, but it's always great to hear. That means that we still have work to be done. And the Proc started not as it is today. So Remy, you and Kut will not see the original version of the Proc. But I want Butta, given that you've never attended the Proc, I want Butta to level set and let you know how we got to where we are. And then I'm going to take it over and really talk to how we've evolved all of these 20 plus years later into what we are today. So, Butta, if you can just give us a real play of how did we get here? Why did you have this idea, even thinking of bringing folks together?
All right. I hope y'all got time, because we're gonna need a few minutes. All right. So the Proc, PROC, started as a get together for PRs. And PRs from a club aspect are public relations officers. And back then, PRO wasn't even a term that was on people's vests or anything like that. And if you look in from a traditional aspect, it's not even a traditional, position in a club. Nevertheless, people were using PRs, all over. And when I joined my club, Pioneers, shout out to the Pioneers, Patterson, New Jersey, they was like, man, you get out, you do things, you talk to people, you a nice medium between us and other clubs. So we're gonna make you our PR person. Me being the person I am, I wanted to kind of put an acronym to it, the military in me. So when we did the pro convention, we just shortened it to Proc, and PRO was pretty much the original term for us. And next thing you know, that was on everybody's vest 20 something years ago. So it was 2003 when it all actually went down. And we basically sat down with a bunch of me and a bunch of other PRs from clubs as far north as Boston. Shout out to Chewy and her folks up there, and as far south as South Carolina. And we was just like, let's just get together and just, do a meet and greet type of get together and maybe talk about some current events. So we decided to land in Philly in January of 2004. We figured if we do it in January, we're not infringing on the already saturated, even back then, 20 something years ago, the already saturated calendar. So we did it in January. It was cold, of course. And we just all got together and we said, we're just going to talk about some current affairs and everything within the bike community and see if we can actually, just kind of, filter some information back and forth between everybody. So once our presidents and such heard about it, they thought we was trying to take over. So they wanted to be there as well. So like, well, we're going to pull up too, because we don't know what's going on. So we're going to pull up. So we went to Double Light Posse's clubhouse. Shout out to Double Light Posse, Philly. We went to Double Light Posse's clubhouse. Back then it was Roy's Comfort Zone. And we had about maybe 90 or 100 people in there. And we did some index cards of like questioning, asking questions or such that we read aloud, and we just kind of conversed on that particular question or statement, and then we moved on. Now we didn't have a budget back then, so we had like some finger food that we passed around. I think we slapped together like $1,500 to kind of get some finger food. And then we didn't have a hotel and, host hotel. So we just booked at the nearest hotel. And we actually went to Executive Riders event that night. It was a Saturday. So we went to their event. So, we wasn't throwing a party, but we knew we couldn't be somewhere without having a good time. So got up that next morning, Sunday, and we went to a diner. And some of us went to a diner. Most everybody probably went home, but it was a handful of us that went to a diner, and we sat and had some food, and and it was a good look. And I liked the way the momentum we had. So I had got in with Speed Divas. Shout out to Speed Divas. Them girls, they used to ride them things. You talking about DC holding it down. Yeah, they were for real with it. And Speed Divas said, you know what, we could help you out for the following year. And we did another one with Speed Divas. And then we moved on to North Carolina with Ebony Angels and Twisted Fury. And then we just I think we finally got it together. We went to Atlanta for the fourth one. And we finally had a plan, but we had humble beginnings, very humble beginnings on how we were set up. But by the fourth one in Atlanta, which was the first time in Atlanta, 2007, we finally had put a plan together. And then we just kind of got momentum from there. picking up guest speakers and you know, having a host hotel and putting together contracts with hotels and just learning how to navigate through setting up an actual convention. Now, mind you, myself and Lexi, that's on my team, and the others that were on my team at one point, none of us were professional convention givers. So we all just kind of just won this, and it just turned out to be a good thing. Now, you know, here we are 20 something years later, we're selling out events. Whereas before, some years back, we used to have walk up registration, and now we selling out. Like, so people have gotten spoiled for the past 10, 15 years. Oh, I get my ticket when I get there. And now, as folks know, if you don't get your ticket before you get there, you might be SOL. You be on our Proc page looking for folks to see if they're selling their ticket, because we are actually selling out venues now, which is a good problem to have. I want to double back as far as the relationship between Foxy and I. Now, if anybody knows Foxy is no tolerance. She don't do the foolery. If you have watched any of her lies,
Zero.
She will let you know. She likes to be fair, consistent, and unbiased across the board. She do not play. She is super duper about her business. Foxy, I came off the stage about to head to lunch. I want to say it was like the second Proc that we had, second or third. And Foxy being Foxy, she was in the crowd and an aisle seat. And as I walked by, she basically tapped me on the shoulder and said she wanted to have a word with me. And she just wanted to talk about what she's seen, and she liked the idea, and she wanted to be a part of it. But I knew, and folks that know me, that know how I speak about Foxy even way back then, I knew from that day that she was going to be more than just a team leader for the event, because she was passionate about what she's seen. And that was early on, Proc. It ain't even talking about the foolery we doing now. So here we are. Foxy is my sister from another mister. You know, I've hung with her at her son's basketball games and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like we're like, she's like the closest thing I got to a blood sister. But here we are 20 something years later, and we have grown by leaps and bounds, and Foxy's still right with us. Like I said, that speaks in volume for anybody that know Foxy. She's not going to deal with nothing silly out here. So, you know, with that being said, she's basically been instrumental in how this Proc has moved. And I'll let her expand more on that once she jumps up here, because she's going to give y'all a whole spill. But Foxy's a whole machine out here. I am glad to have her on my team. I'm glad to call her my sister. She is definitely that chick. So I'll hand it back to you guys unless you want me to answer something else.
No,
no.
I did want to say I did want to say that you know, Lexi did just update us. You know, she said that the name also evolved. So the Proc no longer stands for PRO.
Yeah, I was going to get into that one.
And I was actually, because I had wrote that down, and then I was thinking also public relations officers, the meetup, but it now stands for the MC Professional Convention to encompass all the positions within the MC community.
Exactly. We evolved to
that's a part of the elevation.
Yeah, that was a part of it. So we evolved to actually you know, cater to all motorcycle and supporting cast and then some. So if you are remotely involved in the bike community, we very likely have something for you at the Proc, whether it's social clubs, all the different types of positions within the club. We have, like, I also want to clarify something, because a lot of people have been confused over the years to think that we are the ones, meaning the Proc staff, that is teaching the bike community how to be bikers. That is not the case. I just need to clarify that the people that we are teaching that are teaching are other bikers. So what we do is Foxy, she goes out and vets people to make sure that they are on their game to be able to disseminate information to our fellow bikers. So my thought is always this, and I need y'all to listen up closely when I say this, because I always get rumors about, I don't need to learn nothing. I've learned it all. My thought is always, if you're not the student, you're the teacher. There's no in between for me. So if you have learned everything you need to know, you are the exact person we need at the Proc. You might want to teach some other folks maybe how to run their club, how to possibly save their lives, how to manage money, all of that type of stuff. So while you out there, you people, yes, you people, get with us. Come show us your knowledge, because we could use those type of people who believe that they have everything locked and sewn in when it comes to this bike thing. Okay, I'm off my pedestal for now.
So I was going to say, when it comes to being an educator at the Proc or being a breakout session leader, when you talk about the qualifications, what if it's an independent rider? Like what if it's someone who is the Proc all about club? So, okay, I guess that's my question. Is the Proc just for club people?
No, it isn't. Foxy, you want to jump in there on that one?
So I think your question is, do you have to be in a club in order to be a moderator of a session, to be able to be an educator of a session, to be a person that can provide information of a session? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, and I'm also asking, as far as attendees, is this in a convention for independent riders or only club individuals?
Absolutely. No. So that's a part of the evolution. The evolution is we are now catering to the set as a whole. That includes and encompasses all walks of life. As independents, I myself I'm an independent. So it's everybody. Ultimately, we're just one set. I know we look at it and say, oh, well, this person is in a club, this person is the independent, this person is a social club, this person is a dominant, this person is whatever, but ultimately, we're still all a part of the same set. So the Proc today doesn't just cater to people that are in clubs. Now, naturally, because it is a motorcycle, really more of a motorcycle convention, you would have a lot more folks that are in clubs, but you have independent riders. They're part of the set as well. Many of them ride more miles than some of the clubs actually do. And so when you look at how we educate, it's really not focused on your club per se, although the position sessions are around your club and the position that you may hold in a club. That's gainful information and insight for those that may even be looking to be a part of the club or wanting to understand how a club actually is made up. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in a club. So I just want to clarify, no. So Remy, a person like yourself, like myself, I'm not in a club either. There's still a lot of jewels and a lot of nuggets to learn about what's going on in the climate of the set, because there's legislation that gets passed every year, that gets brought up every year, that independents need to know. I mean, there are statutes that we actually govern ourselves by. There are things that we want to make sure that all motorcyclists are able to benefit from. And a lot of this is information that we share at the Proc.
And that's one thing that I really admire about Proc. I first heard about the Proc probably 10 years ago, maybe 15. But the thing is it was shunned upon. It was in a negative aspect, and I was blind because I hadn't attended. So I was just going on what people were saying. And until I researched it, until I got into it, until I actually went to the Proc myself and went to these breakouts and went to these sessions, I'm like, shit, man, they're putting out some good information. So that changed my whole persona of the Proc. And just to catch everybody up, we have two members on the panel tonight. We have Doc Remy, who's never been to the Proc, and we also have Kut that's never been to the Proc. So they're asking questions from a point where, I have never attended. What should I expect? So, folks, we're going to be throwing some dialogue, some questions out there to you. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to dive right into this thing and get some of your questions answered. But right now, I have to ask this question to Foxy and Butta. You've been putting this thing on now for 20 years. Out of that 20 years, what would you say have probably been one of your greatest achievements with the Proc?
I would say
you go ahead.
So my take on it is the evolution. When we started with the Proc, it really was not what it is today, as we just talked about. I remember going to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and introducing a lot of what we call the 99% community to the dominant community. And at that time, it was Outcasts and Wheels of Soul. And people thought, yo, Foxy, what are you doing? Like, why we need to see those guys? Like, what are we? A lot of people thought that they were in harm's way because it was I don't know, don't really understand the culture, don't understand the world. But how do you get to know those things if you never, ever get to speak to those that are in that world? And so I find that that's been my passion, is to, like you mentioned, KSolo, only hearing from the street. And a lot of times when you hear things from the street, sometimes the folks that are giving you that information, they've never even witnessed it. They're just carrying on and giving you content and giving you information based off of what someone else has already said. And unfortunately, as human beings, sometimes we will gravitate to negativity and not seek out the positive things. And so I always see, no matter how negative the situation is, there's some positivity that comes from it, despite what we may see on the surface. So the passion that I have is to see people like you, KSolo, that heard, oh, this is what it is, and it really wasn't that. But just to see how people have come to the Proc over the years, and every year for the first 3-4 months after the Proc, it's the constant, what did I learn? And the reaction to what they've learned. The expectation was higher than they ever expected. And the connection that they are now making with other bikers across the United States and even beyond, that's really the heartbeat, because I'm always about camaraderie. And we talk about this as a Proc team all the time. Build solid and true relationships with people. If you don't hear anything else tonight, the Proc is really a vehicle for you to be able to come, be educated on one aspect of things. But the other piece of that is building camaraderie with people that you may not have ever encountered had you not shown up at the Proc. And that's really where I see how we've come to where we are today, and how we now sold out so many different hotels, because it's really people coming together like a big family reunion and getting those nuggets that can help them in their everyday club, everyday riding. Some people have come to the Proc that never rode outside of their state. They've connected now with riders that are doing it on a regular basis, and they've gotten more comfortable. They're taking challenges that they never would have envisioned themselves ever doing by way of coming and connecting with the community. So for us, it's really, what can we do to continue to bring people together? And that's where I see what I say is the most heartwarming aspect of the legacy that I'm carrying on here right now with the Proc. So when I look back and I say, what did I accomplish? Did I accomplish anything with the Proc? I can honestly say my Proc legacy will be that we've brought thousands of bikers together. They've stayed united together, and they've communicated well beyond being at the Proc. And that's what warms my heart each and every day. And that's why I have such great passion for the Proc. And I always want to make sure when you come to the Proc, you feel at home.
Right.
Back to you.
All right. That's awesome, folks. We got a question come in from Logic. Logic says, what is next for the Proc as you expand to include everyone who rides?
Foxy,
and Butta or Foxy?
Yeah, that's
great
definitely
question,
Foxy.
Logic.
He has a full vision. Go ahead, Foxy.
Great question, Logic. So from here, it's a loaded question. you'll see things that you'll see in New Orleans. So this is really going to be the start of it. Many of our motorcyclists that we've been hosting for the last 20 plus years have never really seen the other side of the tracks, if you will. So most times we don't see what we call the white dominant world. You'll be able to see that this year. You'll also be able to see the likes of the National Coalition of Motorcyclists. Many of us have never ever been to NCOM. That's a whole separate convention. NCOM, which stands for National Coalition of Motorcyclists, encompass a lot of the laws and the legislation. Many of us of color can probably say that we either know someone or we have been a part of it ourselves, being racially profiled. They have a whole thing about profiling. How do you get the laws in your states changed for motorcyclists? As an example, in North Carolina, we were able to get a bill passed to be able to make a left-hand turn on a red light, because we recognized that the lights were not picking up the motor. So if you're riding and it's dark at night or it's early in the morning and there are not any automobiles on the roadway, the light never changed because the light never, your bike was not triggering the light to change. So we were able to get that accomplished. So when you start to look at where we're going from here, it will be hotels will only be able to accommodate us for your sleeping needs. It's convention center style. We are now to a point where we've sold out countless hotels over the last several years. We've done the data analytics, and we realize now it's time to sell out convention centers to afford more riders, more people that are a part of the set to be able to attend. We don't want to have people say, man, I wish I was able to attend. The woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I'm not able to attend because you're sold out. We really want to make certain that we have enough space to accommodate the masses, and the hotels right now, they don't have enough space for us any longer. So that's the next version of this you'll see. And many of you that have known me for many, many years, I was in a club. That's the same direction that we went with that club. We were selling out hotels, and then it went to convention center. So this is the same setup, really, but it's just more of an elaborate education component that has a lot of other octopus arms to it.
Okay. Kut, I know this will be your first Proc event. What question would you have for Butta or Foxy?
Well, okay. It's a twofer question. For me, do either of you know when it was the first RC, all female RC, all female SC?
You got me on that one.
So you're talking about the likes of our OGs. So in North Carolina, what started with me in North Carolina, because I'm home-based North Carolina, was the Ebony Angels. That was the only female club that I knew in our state of North Carolina. They were older club at the time. But then as things evolved, we started to realize, you have a club that's now 75 plus years old. So we're still discovering a lot of these things, Kut, quite frankly. It's, you think that you know who the oldest is at times, and then you come across and realize that may not be the oldest.
Correct.
Club.
I've always said that because there have been mom and pop clubs and some of the back county towns and cities that had MCs. I keep telling people, go to your library, look at some of those old historic newspaper ads when they was riding in parades. I can guarantee you're going to find some clubs that's been around a lot longer than what you think. Great question. I really like that one. Doc, you have any questions?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's an evolving question, quite frankly.
Yep. Go ahead, Foxy.
No, I was just saying that's an evolving question, to be quite frank with you, because you may just have never discovered the person. You may not have ever met anybody, but that doesn't mean that they have not existed.
Correct.
That is correct. That is correct. I want to welcome a couple of people for coming in tonight. I always got acknowledge the people who are coming in to the podcast. I want to thank Logic for coming in. I want to thank Lavish for coming in. We got Bald Head Nasty coming in. Who else we got? We got Summer Adams coming in. We got everybody coming in. Come on in, folks. If you have questions, make sure you put your question in the comment. We're going to start. We're going to try to get them all addressed for Butta and for Foxy. Tonight, we're just kind of like breaking down the Proc. We got 2 new attendees on our panel tonight. And tonight is just a free for. It's just like, let's just get it all out there. But one thing that I want to just sit there and say, probably under the banner of the Proc, the one percenters came together, which I think was astronomical, something major, big, to make that major announcement. Would you two elaborate on that so that people can sit there and say, well, I've been afraid to go to the Proc because I'm afraid that this organization is going to be there and this may happen.
Foxy, let me jump in first, and then I want you to follow up because you're gonna kill it when I get done. But so it was Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and it was 2008, and I stood on stage, and I had a high-ranking member from Outkast to the left of me, and a high-ranking member from Wheels to the right of me, and people were just blown away. That just don't happen. But they were there on a platform that was being run by 99ers. So, we set history that day. We took a lot of questions. We was about to go to lunch, and we literally ran into lunch easily about 45 minutes because people had questions. And it's like, we have gotten so far removed from having a relationship with our one percenters that I wanted to see us bring that back. We wanted to see us bring that back. And we fast forward to today, and it's a whole different animal. And this is where Foxy can bring you up to speed. Foxy.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right, so a lot of things have changed on the set, as many people know. I mean, it's driven many people to independent life. And so 2 years ago, in fact, I was on my way to New Jersey to see my mom for her milestone birthday. And the thought came over, it's time. Many of us have gone to funerals. Many of us have seen bikers pass away that had nothing to do with the motor. And many of those bikers were Black men, which to me felt like we're leaving a void in many of our Black and brown families. How do we bring this together? Why can't we bring it together? And, sometimes people say, why me? I say, why not you? Because if the vision comes to you, then you should get whatever you need from whoever the higher being is that you regard yourself to execute it. It's all about communication. So I got together with a couple of dominants, and we decided that, it's time for us to put this truce together. So I would say salute to Chuck, National Vice President of Thunder Guard. Salute to Fu, who's now the #1 national for Outkast, for partnering with us on this. We went to the Proc in Indianapolis. We were in a place that no one expected us to ever be. No one thought that a motorcycle club would ever be able to do a function in the JW Marriott of all places in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we did that. We debuted that. We even had Sin City come to the stage. The beauty of what we see now is we all have a no tolerance for foolishness. Let's get back to motorcycling. Let's get back to doing things that most people love who do ride motorcycles, and that's sharing the open road, going to destinations that you may not have ever thought you would ever ride to, being able to share and be an encyclopedia for others that are looking for great rides to go on. Let's move out of our own way and let's stop the nonsense, the violence. It's not necessary. No one wants to be able to see their person either in a casket or in prison for nonsense. So that's where we are now. Our dominants have come, and, you know, we call it the report card review. This year will be no different. You'll be able to hear directly from them. Let's sit down and have a conversation. What's working in your area with these dominants? What's not working in your area with these dominants? And I would say this, when you come to the table and you say, I have something that's not working in my area, let's be specific. You know, one thing as a leader, I always tell my organizations that I lead every day, never put me in a situation where I can say I didn't understand what you were trying to convey to me. Be straight. If it's not working, it's not working. Hey, can we work on this? But don't lead a person around the mulberry bush and have them not understand what you're trying to convey to them. So articulate your thoughts with firsthand information. The worst that we can do is go and use second and third hand what they said. Who is they? And many of you know that when you talk to Foxy and you come and say, well, she said, he said, they said, I'm constantly asking, who is the she, the he, and the they? Because all of those people have names. So let's not throw the stones and hide our hands. Let's have open conversation. And I think that's where we are now with our dominants, having them understand how we move as a community, not just as a dominant club. And so, yes, do we still have work that needs to be done? We absolutely do. And we're leaning on each and every one. Every one of us have a job. And so that's how this came to be. It was, can you put together an event of unity prior to us debuting this in Indianapolis so that we know that you're serious about it? Because we're not going to just bring you on stage and this is what we talk. And we, you know, I'm the person with the no nonsense. You're going to talk the talk. We're going to have to walk the walk. Mm-hmm. So they did that. Harleyville was the very first one. And people, I remember calling me saying, yo, Foxy, I don't know about going to Harleyville. You know, they said that the Wheels and Thunder Guard's going to be there. And I don't know about that, sis. You going? Yeah, I'm going to be there. And you need to be there too. Oh, okay. Well, you know, yeah, I think we'll probably make it down there. And it was a great event. This year we go back to Harleyville. I don't even think the location that this was starting at can even hold it now. It was just that more people. This year it was Outkast, Wheels, and Thunder Guard. I don't think that location can hold us for next year. But you have to start somewhere. Right.
Okay. Okay. Hey, C1's dropped a question in, and we're going to try to take them as we go. Question, do the Proc offer opportunities for volunteer at their conventions? And that's one question that I had so that people can kind of understand a little bit about it. And we have a series of questions that we're going to be asking the panel as well. That's definitely one of the questions we was going to ask because we know that you break it down into teams and each region has a team. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on the responsibilities, what the teams are for and what they're used for?
You want me to take that, Foxy?
That is Butta's wheelhouse. At least I thought I gave it to him.
Yeah. So we have pretty much over a fair share of the country, we have what we call team leaders. And team leaders are basically there are ground support. They set up tables. They're helping at the actual event as far as getting people registered. They're directing traffic for us. They're doing everything. And I don't want to sound corny, but we definitely we can't do this alone. We definitely need our team leaders. So they're an integral part of what we do. Team leaders, pretty much the way they're set up, they work on merit. So the more that they can actually bring to the Proc as far as registrants and sponsors and vendors and such, the better off they are taken care of by us. So my thought was back when we put together team leaders is there's no face like a familiar face. So I can go somewhere and talk about the Proc. Let's just give me I just say like Raleigh, North Carolina. I can go there and talk about the Proc till I'm blue in the face to some clubs there, and they might look at me like, yeah, okay, whatever. But Foxy probably can go there, having, being a North Carolina resident and being Foxy, she could go there and say the same thing I said and get more movement from them because she's a familiar face. She's endorsing the Proc. Well, okay, let me listen up, never mind this other guy over here. So our team leaders are based in areas where there's a high concentration of biker types. We may not cover every area, and we may, and just in full transparency, we may be lacking in some areas where we do have coverage because of one reason or another. Some areas kind of just be in their own little world. It's hard for them to move. They just stay in their own little bubble. But we would love to be able to crack those bubbles and get them to come to the Proc. Not necessarily for them to patronize us, but just to join our camaraderie of fellowshipping with other bikers. So that's kind of where we at with the team leaders. And we have a structure when it comes to team leaders. We have team leaders. We have a manager, Spicy, that manages all of our team leaders. So if anybody's looking to become a team leader, reach out to Spicy from Vicious Riders. She's been on the Proc team forever, and she handles all of our team leaders. She will vet you and see if you're solid, and if you're a good fit for our team. So that's where we are with that.
Doc, I know you got a question, but what are the prerequisites, Butta, to be considered or to even apply for a team membership?
The prerequisites for being a team leader, we have team leaders from MCs. We have team leaders that have been in SCs. We have team leaders that are independent. Our biggest thing is to have a relationship with your area or other areas. So you may live in, Oklahoma, but you may have a profound relationship with several clubs in Tallahassee, and you can be able to sway them to come to the Proc because of your relationship and you believe in the Proc and so on and so forth. So it varies. Now, typically we want you to work your own area, but a relationship is a relationship. If you have a relationship with club in Alaska, get them Alaskans down here to the Proc. We could use you. We've had folks that some of our team leaders, they have really good relationships with national clubs, and they have brought national clubs on, in hundreds, so it varies on who your tenure in the bike community, because we don't necessarily want somebody that just set foot in the bike community and you are a biker, you're in a bike club and you smell like fresh leather. We definitely prefer that you have been around for a while. And there's some requirements that if you wanted to become a team leader that Spicy would go over with you. But yeah, there's definitely some prerequisites in place for becoming a team leader. But the biggest thing is we need people that are go-getters. We don't need somebody that we got to motivate to go get out there and do something. We want motivators. If I say A, B, C, you should be able to finish it up with D, E, and F without a problem. And we don't have to double back and look over your shoulder. So that's kind of where we at. And that's more of the direction we're trying to head in as well. We want to have highly motivated individuals come and be able to promote the Proc because you genuinely believe in the Proc and you would like to see fellow bikers get together with other bikers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you've attended the Proc. That's the other thing. You can't promote something you've never been to.
That part right there. Right.
Go ahead, Doc.
So yeah,
on your question.
I know. So like Kut rides a Can-Am Spider. So I got a scenario. She and I never been to the park before. I'm I like long distance. I'm an independent rider, not long distance. So then I got another female rider. She just started riding on twos, but she's out here not following. You know, she's listening to the guy say, "Oh, you ride, you know, you cute. I like the way you look in your leather," and you know, and so she's learning how to maneuver a little bit as a new rider, but she's listening to male MCs and maybe not getting the respect that she should get, even though she's riding on twos. Or like, if I want to say, all three of us, we want to go to the Proc. We've never been to the Proc. Is it breakout sessions that were like cut? She's in threes. Is it something that threes, because we get a lot of negativity or not negativity, but I think twos and threes, I don't know if it's a competition or not, but some people I've heard say threes are not motorcycles. And then you got people out here on threes that are actually pounding the ground. And so I guess my question is it a breakout session for female riders who are just now starting to ride that need some guidance on how to gain respect as a female in an MC culture? Is it a breakout session for independent long distance riders on how I can maneuver and be safer out on the road as far as packing gear, how to stop, how to be safe, things like that, maintenance for my bike? Is it a breakout session for female riders like Kut, who's on Can-Ams and on threes and on trikes, you know, so we can all be on the same page as women out here in MC culture? So I know that was a lot, and there might have been more than one question. I don't know, but I don't know.
I want to start.
That's a 6-part.
I got you.
Yeah, I want to start it off, but I definitely know Foxy's going to round this up for me. First of all, who are we to judge somebody because they got two wheels in the back or two wheels in the front and one wheel in the back or one wheel in the front? Who are we to judge somebody? We don't know their situation. We don't know their circumstances. You know, they might have, you know, extenuating circumstances that we may not even know about. They might have vertigo. They might have had, you know, a bad injury where they can't hold a bike up. But we out here always being judgy over who has what wheel where. I think we need to get past that. There's some folks out here on threes, whether it's two in the front, two in the rear, that have I've seen put in miles more than a lot of folks out here on twos. So all that being judgy about who has what wheel where, yeah, we need to stop that. Now, as far as the curriculum, I'll go ahead and let Foxy expand on that because she builds the curriculum. But go ahead, Foxy. I need to get that off my chest.
No, I was going to definitely say that first. For one, there's no competition. So we welcome and embrace you because of the fact that you want to ride something. There are people that don't ride anything. And so there's no competition. So when you come to the Proc, if we're hearing that people are downing you for that, we need to know. That is not the environment where we actually boast at. We are bringing you and lifting you up, not tearing you down. And we want to make sure that you understand how you fit in. Everybody has a place. As far as it relates to the curriculum, we have a riding journey, breakout session, and that's what it talks about. It talks about all the things, all the different roadways, all the different rides that you could potentially do. And then you also get to meet some of the people that have already encountered some of these rides, some that are preparing for some of these rides that can help you on that journey as well. Our road captain session, when you want to learn how to, one, be a first responder. You may not be a road captain. This is speaking to anybody that's riding a motorcycle that's ever led a pack. You're going to learn how to truly be a road captain, be that first responder. What should you be packing on your bike? Over the years, you know, we've told our females in particular, hey, you know, it's all good to have your little lip gloss and everything, but you have some zip ties just in case your stuff start falling apart. Do you have your toolkit in your bag just to make sure that if you need to require some maintenance on your bike, do you even understand how to use the tools in your toolkit? First aid kits. So all the things that we need when it comes to preparing for that long distance ride or the ride up the road. Some things don't require that you need when you're riding up the road that you need when you're riding long distance. What type of gear should you be wearing? Especially for us women on our feet. Do you know how to pick up your bike? Let's show you how to pick up your bike in case there's not anyone around that needs to help you. So there's a number of different breakout sessions, Dr. Remy, that may not necessarily say, hey, this class is for you to learn how to pick up your bike. This class is to learn how to pick up and pack for your bike. But there are courses like the Road Captain session that teaches you some of these tidbits. There's courses like the Riding's Journey, where you encompass the whole idea of long distance riding and how to properly prepare mentally, financially, physically, because it's more to it than just hopping on a motor and saying, hey, you know, today I think I'm gonna leave North Carolina and I'm gonna ride to see Miss Showtime, who's watching us right now in California. That's not something that you wake up today and say you want to do if you're not financially, physically, and emotionally ready because of the distance. So there are courses that will give you a lot of those tidbits that you just mentioned.
Okay.
All right. All right. Kut, you got a question?
Yes. First of all, once again, thank you, Miss Foxy. That was great information. But what do you actually, is there a breakout session for long distance riding, especially for women, and self-defense? Because anything can happen on that dark road. Anybody can come up, and we're in a day and age where everybody's acting all kinds of crazy.
Yeah, so in our riding journey, we actually also have a whole female breakout session. That's just for the females to gather a lot of their information. So yes, in that session, we talk about, we've over the years, we've come across a lot of females that are not comfortable as some may be with firearms or just things that you can use to protect yourself. So we do talk about that in that session as well.
Okay.
Yes, we specifically talk to the females, which is what got us into having sessions for females, because back when I started riding, I was riding with all men. Now we have a lot more women that are on ground today, and the safety piece is first and foremost.
Hey,
and one other question.
Go ahead.
Are you also affiliated with the Bone as far as with life insurance for because we can have life insurance for our family and via work, but there are certain, like I got together with Bone and I'm a part of the ABA, and he provided me with some information as far as getting life insurance, because anything can happen, and we don't want to have a GoFundMe kind of situation. What are your thoughts on that?
So are you speaking of Bone 1%er?
Yes.
Yes, very familiar with Bone. He's my brother from another mother. Bone is actually one of my key facilitators at the Proc. And Bone talks about the Coalition of Motorcyclists and all the great things that's going on there. He also talks about ABATE and all the great things that are going on with ABATE. Bone and I represent the minority community. He's the sole Black male. I'm the sole Black female on the board of directors for the National Coalition of Motorcyclists. So he does provide a lot of that information, and he provides the information to folks to be able to take back home. But you're definitely spot on when it comes to that. We talk about that in our financial session, in our business management session, the importance of having life insurance outside of work, because what happens when you leave work or you retire and your age is a lot different than it was when you first started. GoFundMe is not a mechanism of life insurance, although so many think it is. And then get mad when people don't donate to it. We need to be all responsible for adults. And so that's one of the key things that we talk about at the Proc, being responsible. And that's not even in just the whole life insurance arena. It's when you want to take a long ride. Let's all make sure that we're financially responsible, because you could be in a situation where you need a whole new motorcycle. If the community shows up and helps you purchase a new motorcycle, great. But let's not have GoFundMe be the expectation that when situations happen, everybody must show up for that. We want to make certain that we put our best foot forward to plan for something that we may not foresee, than to think that we have that dependency. And clubs in particular, clubs. You all should have some form of life insurance on all of your members. Members are paying dues every month. Why are we not using subsets of that money to ensure all of our members have life insurance? This is my heartbeat to our leaders. It's only a $5 patch that you get sewn on that say you are a president, a vice president, a sergeant at arms. But the work that you do for your club will gain you the respect of the community if it's done the right way. And this is where I say to our leaders, when I see GoFundMes from clubs, some of them may even be watching right now and they can attest to this. I'm in your inbox. I'm on your cell phone. I'm trying to understand, why is this the case? Because we should not have to do that if you belong to a club in particular. Not saying that independents shouldn't do it. Independents should definitely do it as well. But if you are a leader in a club, when you're meeting with your club members every month, you should be talking about the affairs should something happen. It's not the community's responsibility.
Hold on.
To come to your rescue.
Do this. I got to do this right now, Foxy. I got to give you that round of applause because I preached that, Lord. I preached that. I'm sorry, but I had to get that out.
No, I mean that's just where it is. And I just want to make certain that people understand that we have to take a serious look at how we're set up when it comes to this motorcycle community. This sport is one of the most dangerous sports that we have. Motorcycling is a sport, whether we think it is or not. And we have to make certain that we're properly preparing ourselves and our families for the journey that we have chosen to embark upon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Hey, I got a question coming in. Let me get back to it right quick. Coming in from no other than the man himself, Logic again. Logic says, with your reach and the success of this truce, we have heard that a truce is being on the other side. Do you see them working with us, with this side, so it can spread further on both sides?
Yes.
I got a small screen, so I couldn't all about it read that. But yeah, everybody copied on that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
That is in effect right now as I'm on the screen with you. In fact, I just got a text message from two of the guys on the other side of the track. So one of the things that we have been tasked with is really, how do we bring this truce to life? So I went to NCOM, National Coalitions of Motorcyclists Convention, back Mother's Day weekend, and it was held in Mississippi, not realizing what the true outcome of that was going to be. I went to teach a class and I went to talk about diversity from the pro-convention standpoint, the Proc, and came back home sitting on the board and working with our white dominants to bring about truce on their side of the tracks. Now, at that meeting, what I can say is Outcast and Thunder Guard, they were able to share with their counterparts on the white side of the tracks how they got this truce started, where this truce is going, and the benefits of and the reasons why it's necessary. So yes, the white dominants are definitely joining arms, looking at things a lot differently. And one of the things that I constantly talk to both sets of dominants, and they sit here and they have to say, let's drop the mic on that. We spend so much time doing things that really aren't necessary. But how many people are sponsored? Let's think about it. Our dominants are putting in millions and millions and millions and millions of miles on motors. But when I ask the question, how many of your members are sponsored by any manufacturer of a motor? The answer is 0. Now, some of you that are listening to us right now probably know individuals that are sponsored. You may know groups of people that are sponsored. But why is it that our dominants have no sponsors? Whether it be your tire, your headgear, your rain suit, or the motor itself. So I'm really working a lot behind the curtain to help them understand we have to get out our own way. And we have to showcase ourselves as being trustworthy and worth it. There's a lot of corporate money out here for the sport of motorcycling. But the reality of it is, why would you want your brand tarnished by partnering with the wrong group of people? And that's what we have to look at.
You know, on that note right there, sponsorship, and I can speak from the aspect of having been sponsored and still sponsored. But the thing is that now they're transitioning to more of the social media. They're looking for people with followers now. They're looking for high numbers of followers, people putting out content where they want eyes on. They want eyes on. But I try to warn people, and I think I spoke on this the last time I spoke at the Proc. If you're in an organization and you're riding for an organization, that organization comes first. You always have to remember that, because it's a commitment that you make. And that's something that I would love to address again, having been through it, having lived through it, having the battle scars from it, of you know, getting that attention and what will happen from it. And some people don't know, because the only thing they see is the glamour, the lights, the people, the name, the recognition. There's something that comes with that, and you might not like it. Trust me when I tell you. I just wanted to say that. Foxy.
You know, to that point, KSolo, I would say this. You know, many of you and some of you that are watching this may not know what I do day to day, but you know, I get to see real data every day that I turn on a computer. And what I'm talking to a lot of these corporate companies about is you have to be very careful and identifying, because just because a person has a lot of followers doesn't necessarily mean that they are an influencer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be able to move the needle. Ultimately, folks want to be able to sponsor, have folks that they can sponsor that's going to help them move their bottom line. You could have 1 million followers, you could have 1 million subscribers, but when you talk about whatever that subject matter is for whomever you're sponsored with, are they seeing benefits from that? And that's where the rubber starts to hit the road, because you could quickly build right now. And I know this for a fact, because like I said, I'm behind the curtain and I will not speak anything that I don't know to be a fact. You can build a whole solid YouTube page with people in the Philippines. That doesn't make you necessarily an influencer just because you built a solid page that has 1 million followers. If all of your followers are in the Philippines and you start talking to me about ABC product, they're probably not showing up for that. So we have to be mindful as corporate leaders and stewards of how we build. You can quickly build anything today with artificial intelligence, and it doesn't move the needle for you at all. So what I can say is some of our corporate companies are now taking a look and digging into their data analytics. And what I mean by that is they're wanting to now see if this sponsorship is moving the financial profitability needle for them. And we're going to start to see a shift. I can tell you that we're going to start to see a shift, because I'm teaching them how to properly identify via data analytics.
Right.
Yeah. Whew. Folks, you're getting nuggets. These are boulders. You're not getting nuggets tonight. You're getting boulders. Shit. Doc, throw something at him.
I know. I just want to know some encouraging words that you have. We got a lot of female ride leaders. We have a lot of female rides out here. They're popping up all the time across the United States. Just different clubs. I just, as a lady writer out here on the set or in the culture, I hear tidbits from this and tidbits from that. I guess I want some words of advice from you, Foxy, because I do listen to wisdom, and even Kut has some wisdom that I gained from her just meeting her down at Tampa Next Level. But being out here as a female, what advice can you give us on how to maneuver the proper way, in a respectful way, where we're not disrespecting anyone, or when we're really preaching sisterhood, fellowship? So yeah, like what type of advice can you give us lady writers out here on how to maneuver out here in this culture and be respected and not just be a piece of ass on a set, or just I don't know. That's what I got.
That's it, Doc. That's it.
So first and foremost, what I would say is you need to have a real purpose and be purposeful. But there are 5 governing principles that I actually live by, and I govern as a leader every day. You need to be honest, fair, consistent, unbiased, and transparent with purpose. The female rides that we have going on throughout the United States, it's a great thing to have. But what I would say to any organizer, make sure you do your due diligence to ensure that you're bringing women together for the right purpose. We've seen a few debacles. And what I mean by that, it's everybody else is doing it. I'm going to go out here and try to do it myself. And then it turns into what is perceived as a money grab. You said you're going to have certain things and women get there and they don't have those things. That's not what we should be doing. So you want to make sure that that's first and foremost. You have a true passion, and this is not for you to get coins. When it comes to feeling like you may just be a notch on a male's belt, that's within each and every one of us. I've never, ever been approached inappropriately by a man on the set. And it may be in the way in which I carry myself. I carry myself in such a way that most men, no, I'm not that one. And it's not just because I'm married. That has nothing to do with it. You have to make certain that you know who you are and let it be known. We talked about women on the set causing a lot of our confusion and foolishness amongst the men. Many of you probably saw the viral video that Lavish did unknown to me at the time, where I was speaking truth to those that were listening. We women are not community pussy. That's not what our purpose should be on the set. Our purpose should, if you come in here, because that's
these rates got to go up, y'all.
You're in the wrong place. Go to a whole different place for that. So as women, we have to know if a male approaches you the wrong way. Hold up, sir. I'm sorry, but you're a little bit too close. I need my space. It's no slapping me on my butt and I say, it's nothing funny about that. And you have to stand 10 toes down on you being a lady first. Because the moment that he feels like he gets the upper hand and thinks that you become the loose booty Judy, then you have all the extras and dismiss me with the drinking. Dismiss me with, I'm acting this way because I had too much to drink. Then how about you need to be in Foxy's category of soberness? Because that's not an excuse to be disrespectful. So I would say to male and female, if you didn't have an identity before you came on the set, you need to check yourself at the door. If you think that this is going to be your identity, if you weren't getting any bedroom situations going on before you came to the set, this should not be the reason why you're here. And me being a woman first, I want to make sure that our ladies are not viewed as such. We are not community pussy. We should not have that label on us automatically. It's very disheartening to hear that you've been through a whole club. A whole club has been through you. That's embarrassing. And it should be embarrassing. So we have to be a woman first, and we have to make certain that we stand on that. And I promise you, if you approach inappropriately and you check a male, he will forever remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make certain that we let it be known.
Can I expand on that from a male's perspective?
Yes, please.
You sure can. You sure can.
So, as a male, you know, I've been in this bike thing for 20 something years. And I can honestly say when I got in, I just enjoyed seeing bikers out doing their thing and riding in formation. I fell in love with that aspect. And I just wanted to be in formation with my club at the time, the Pioneers, and going places and doing stuff. Now, the women were a byproduct, but that wasn't what I joined it for. But what I got to learn fast was you would go into somebody's event, daytime, nighttime, whatever, and you could see fast who was there with purpose and who was there for pleasure. And it was like, you know, you gain a different level of respect for somebody who has rode to your event from hundreds of miles away, as opposed to somebody who has a whole MC on their back and you've never seen them on a bike, and year round they pulling up in a vehicle, you know, dressed to the nine and matching outfits and this and that and the other. And it's like, you know, you just, from a biker's perspective, you like, okay, you're a whole MC, but I've never seen the MC part, you know. So the best thing I can tell you is something I've told somebody else some years ago, is that ride your bike whenever possible. And men gonna fuck. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, excuse my French, but they're gonna respect you more. Any solid biker out here gonna say, damn, she rode from where? They're gonna treat you different. They're gonna treat you different when you pull up on your bike, as opposed to the 20 women that pulled up with matching outfits and it's July and they live 2 hours away and they got MC on their back. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. It happens out here on a regular basis. So ride your bike, and basically stand your ground when somebody come at you sideways. And like Foxy said, you let him know, he gonna remember that, and then he's gonna have an instant level of respect from you from that moment forward. I could also say for anybody listening, no matter what you have on your back, MC, SC, PC, whatever, live in your truth. When you come in this bike thing, live in your truth. Are you coming in here to be a biker? Are you coming in here to be in a social club because you really like bikers, but you ain't really trying to be on a bike like that? Live in your truth, you know. And if we had more people genuinely living in their truth when they got into this bike thing, this whole bike thing will be a lot better place. Because again, like Foxy said, there's a lot of folks out here that had no identity before they joined a bike club. And I mean, I see that on a regular basis, and it's disheartening to see folks come in and all of a sudden they are somebody because they got such and such riders or such on their back. So live in your truth when you come in and know where you want to be. If you want to, you know, be ran through by different clubs, don't do that to the rest of your club. If that's the case, don't join a club masking as a MC when you really know you want to be laid up every week, you know? So just something to think about. Just living your truth. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Kut, did you have a question?
Well, just really a comment. You know, I think the whole panel can actually agree to this. And it's not just a gender related kind of comment. Don't eat where you shit.
That's it. So let me say one more thing. Women, all y'all have is y'all reputation. That's pretty much an old school saying. And once that reputation is tarnished, it's hard to get it back. So be mindful of who you lay up with, because while we all bikers and it's convenient to be laid up with somebody that does the same thing you do, just be mindful, because there's a lot of dudes out here with loose lips that yap about what they have done. And next thing you know, your business is all over the street, all over the bike community. Now he wants to try you, or he heard about your head game, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, you can't stop somebody from liking somebody, but just be mindful of where you put your stuff at, because all it takes is one idiot out here to put your biz in the street, and now you look in a hot mess. So keep your stuff tight in every aspect.
You know, one of the things I want to add to this too, you know, I know we talking about the women's side of the house, but you know, there's a male side of the house on this too.
Okay.
And it may not necessarily be in the bedroom. So I'm gonna say to my male riders, and those of you that are contemplating being dominants or going to the dominant set, if you was a punk prior to become a dominant, you still a punk. So let's stop acting like we big and bad and get into our dominant clubs. And now we want to be the hero. We want to be something that we are not. That's one of the constant situations we're talking about right now amongst our dominant brothers, because many of them are getting guys that we're beginning to look real thirsty for members. And I'm over the days of guys knowing you got street beef that you can't settle on your own. So now all of a sudden you want to come into a big, bad, dominant club, and then you want all of your club brothers to come to your rescue. That's not their beef. And that's where I was going with the whole situation of community pussy situation. You got this chick dealing with multiple guys in different dominant clubs, and then she got a whole husband at the house that ain't even in no club. And now these men are beefing with each other, killing each other over a chick that's really not neither of their chicks. So we got to make sure that we understand, don't bring your whole club into your personal beef. If that's your beef, that's your beef. But that's not your club's beef. Your bedroom life is your bedroom life. If you can't handle another man screwing a woman that you screwing, that's on you, and you probably shouldn't do it. But that's one of the things that I call the foolishness that we have on the set right now, where we have guys that can't take seeing their chick be with somebody else. And then when that happens, it becomes a club situation. And now you have clubs feuding over something that really doesn't have anything to do with the club.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure I put that out there. That right there is dear to my heart, because like I said, I know too many people right now that got rest in peace patches on their rags over this subject right here, where we brought a beef that had nothing to do with the club to the club, and now we either have members that are in the ground, in an urn, or in prison.
This is true. I can definitely say I've watched over the years that folks have passed away, been locked up over pussy. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So be mindful of where you put your stuff.
So there's just a automatic, just being a female in the MC culture, we are automatic got a label on our back. And so we have to be, and check me if I'm correct or if I'm wrong, but it seemed like we just have to come in the game already with our head held high, you know, our shoulders lifted and back, and be intentional on our movements, because we can speak the lingo and talk about the highways. And I've been over here to the back roads. I've been up over here. I didn't put in 20, 30 miles as a female rider. I'm out here pounding. I didn't did the 4 corners. I didn't did the I-10 to the end. And, you know, and still I'm a lady with a booty. And so it's just automatic. We got something on us because we are female, and it was just different between male and female in this culture. Am I right or am I wrong when I say that?
No,
I say you're right.
You don't have to feel that way, Remy. You don't have to feel like you have to come in with necessarily with a chip on your shoulder. I think what happens is you're riding. You're going to gain the respect, and let's start to build the relationships. As Pun mentioned, when you do those 3 R's, you know, I never felt like I had to come in to this with a chip, or I felt like I had a label placed upon me. I mean, many of us can probably attest to that. So I don't want a person who is thinking about becoming a motorcyclist, that's a female, thinking, oh man, I got to do all that in order for me to be considered to be a part. No, it's just really knowing how to stand your ground when you need to. Now, everybody isn't going to approach you that kind of way. The times that it does happen, you already know what to do. But there's a lot of men that definitely well receive us females, and we get the compliments from them right out gate. They see what we do. They see the pounding that we're doing. They see the lifestyle that we really want to live and the journey that we want to have, and they can appreciate it, and they're not approaching us from the left. Now, you do have some that may try you, but again, word spreads fast. You do it one time, I promise you that brother gonna go and tell somebody, man, I'm just letting you know, she ain't the one. She you might not want to approach her like that. She not the one. But I don't want you to feel like you have a label on you, because you don't. You got enough. We have enough strong posture of women on the set that really doesn't have to be a feeling that you have to feel.
Okay.
And you just got a compliment. See there? Big Pun said it's just the way you carry yourself. I mean, people like Pun has been riding forever. I've been knowing him forever as well. It's really the way you carry yourself. I mean, you come on. I just tell women, I want you to have confidence. I want you to believe in you. I want you to see and know who you are. You know, let's not go out and feel like we have to impress anybody. One of the first things I tell people is I'm in competition with no one other than me. I want to wake up tomorrow and be better tomorrow than I am today. That's it. But we want to make sure we bring each other's confidence levels up. I know a lot of times women tend to suffer from self-confidence issues. For whatever reason, you think your booty may not be big enough, your boobs may not be big enough, your body may not be shapely enough, but guess what? It's yours. And it doesn't matter what you look like. Be confident in who you are. And that's what we need to do more of. Empowering and bringing each other up. Depression is a real thing. So I just encourage people to get with people that can see the positive sides of things. And I'll give you guys just one example before we get into the next question. I had a girlfriend of mine who I think is watching right now. She was battling breast cancer for the second time. She and my mom battled it the first time together. And she was told she had to have a double mastectomy. She called me after speaking to many others, and she was crying all over the place, emotions all over the place naturally. And I said to her, I don't know why this is happening to me. I said, well, you know what? This is an opportunity that you said, hey, I need to get a tummy tuck. So why don't you just go ahead and take that tummy tuck and redo your boobs with that? And she said, you know what? I needed that laugh, but I saw the positive from her situation, because the reality of it is women are able to get fat from other parts of their body to reshape their breasts when they are battling breast cancer. They don't have to settle for implants. But again, it was the positive side of what she felt was a very bad situation. I'm not going to cater to your woe is me moments. I'm going to still be that motivator to encourage and uplift you through whatever the circumstance very well may be.
Okay.
Also, keep your circle tight. Don't hang with them thotty thoughts, because you're going to look like one too.
Yeah. What they say, you are the company you keep.
This is
birds
very
of a
true.
feather. Birds of a feather. Indeed. Well, listen, we had a question come in, and we're going to put it up there because we're going to be straight up on this platform. Coming from New Hampshire Red Blood, who said, "Is America racist?"
Interesting. We got somebody trolling. Let me find out. Is America racist?
When we say
And
when we
I think
say
he's asking
America,
from an aspect of, I think he's saying that from the aspect of, as a biker traveling across the country, do we feel as though, now, if you're still watching New Hampshire Red, this is the way I'm interpreting this: is America racist to black bikers on the highway? And we have addressed that in other shows and episodes as well. Now, from you being in the committees and in the group that you're in, the coalition that you're in, Foxy and maybe Butter, do you hear that? Is that addressed? Is that something where that's a topic of conversation?
it is. It definitely is. I get on the Proc side. Do you all only allow black bikers to attend the Proc? I have some white folk that want to attend, but they said that they typically only see black people. So is that something that's only for the black culture? The answer is no. It could definitely be perceived that way because that's how we started. But as we began to build relationships, you begin to see and encounter and see more of a diverse group of people. Is America racist as a motorcycle culture? There are times where I actually feel like we are. There are certain areas in the United States where people that look like me get racially profiled. There are motorcycle groups, and this doesn't necessarily have to be racist. It may be the type of club that you belong to that may draw you out to be the bad crew. So I think we still have a lot of work to do, but I would just encourage each and every one of us. My family is very, very diverse, so I don't see racism in that vein, but I would say to each and every one of us, we need to make certain that we are not the racists. So what can we do in our own power to ensure we're not the racists and contributing to that behavior? I can't control what others do and how they do it, but what I can control is what I do and how I do it. And so I would just say, yes, we can be perceived as a racist America at times, and we're living in that every day we wake up right now.
Okay. All right.
And income is the same. So I'll just throw that out there. When I went to income was all white. You know, I was definitely in the minority at income. Did I feel in I got asked the question, well, Foxy, did you feel uncomfortable, being there with all the white guys? Absolutely not. I'm going to be comfortable wherever I go. It could be all black, all white, all Latino, whatever. It doesn't matter. But again, it starts with you. So I'm comfortable wherever I am, but income is the opposite spectrum of the Proc. We do a convention there, but it's primarily the white side of the house. The Proc is more of the black side of the house. But what I can say tonight that I'm very, very happy about is we're bringing the two worlds together so that each could have the diversity it deserves. And so that we can get out of the idea of having people ask, is this conference only for one race or another?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Whew. Hot tomato. No. Well, we are going heavy and deep tonight. Solo Mitchell says, yes, there are still sundown towns. Tone Tea Time. And I know Big Pun said he spent 7 years as a team member for the Proc.
Yes.
So he knows the intricate workings up. He was a team leader. Yep, outstanding. Tone Tea Time. Oh, you might get that income. Okay, Tea Time. And we all know Tone Tea Time. Good deal. Doc Remy, you got a question?
Long time.
Yeah, I do. Yesterday during pre-production, hey, Kut has mentioned something about the Houston We Have a Problem rally. And Kut, you can elaborate on that a little bit, but it's a 3-wheeler event. And
okay, it's a 3-wheel event they have every year in Houston. And the gentleman that the moderator is, his name is Orlando. And it's growing exponentially. But for me, I guess it's become very, very much more commercialized, like it's not on a Proc level. So that's what I'm saying. How, each one teach one as far as what the Proc, but with WAP is more of a party kind of situation.
And so I guess my question is
What cut?
to the panel, when do you all talk about at the Proc the difference on how you need to be acting at a rally versus a convention versus a motorcycle party or annual, versus, a picnic? Like, is it different ways that we should be acting in all these different areas, know?
And Miss Foxy, she actually kind of hit on it on how, I hate to say it, but it's very true, how the women are perceived out there, how they perform out there, even though they do ride, but there are a lot of ground and pounders out there, but sometimes the level of partying kind of spills over, and it's just more of that, and then they invite that kind of like negative response coming to them, and then they're like, I don't know why. It's because you're acting this way. It's certain levels. I'm a woman of a certain standard, and I feel that when you walk out the door, your respect for yourself is automatic. But when you go into someone else's spaces, that respect, it needs to be earned, not automatic. And there's a lot of misconstrued as far as with that. And with the WAP is, it's just a whole big party for bikers. For me.
So let me go back. Let me rewind on this a bit. The Proc used to be that. It used to be everybody thought the Proc was just this big party, go get laid event. And we had a lot of work that we had to do to get the foundation for people to understand, no, that is not it. No matter where I go in the world, all the conventions that I do professionally, socially, they all have a component of some type of party gathering to it. But you have to know what your purpose is. So if your purpose is appearing to be, it's all about the party, those that are not there for that won't have a good time in their own way, because they're coming for something that they thought was to encompass everybody. So the Proc years ago was known for that. It was, oh yeah, they just party. That's all they doing. Then they started to realize, no, that's not all that the Proc does. We do have parties in the evening, but we have a lot of opportunity for you to connect, reconnect, and get yourself educated and get some nuggets during the day. I always tell people, I find day parties to be the most gratifying, because during the day, people are typically sober. You're not dealing with lighting issues. You're not dealing with a whole lot of drinking problems. A DJ that's playing so loud that you can't conversate and hear each other. And that gives you the ability to connect much more so. So when you're looking at events, it's not a certain way that I feel you have to conduct yourself, whether you're going to a convention or you're going to a picnic or you're going to whatever. It's what is the purpose of the event? Is the purpose of the event to bring people together? Is the purpose of the event to party? Is the purpose of the event to go eat? What exactly is the event about? And that's how you would be able to tell what kind of, or get a feel for what people are going to be there for. But I can tell you, Kut, in all full transparency, the Proc was that function at once upon a time that was basically people in the streets were saying, oh man, you don't need to go. That ain't nothing but another party. That's all that is. It's just people doing their party and they get laid. And I'm thinking, for one, I don't do all that partying. Most people will see Foxy at the Proc. And if you see me on the stage, you might see me on the stage for a short period of time during the party. And that's really me casually making sure that the DJ and the mics and all of that are working properly for others to have a good time. The nighttime party stuff is really not where I've ever been in the community. It was just a place that I had to be at certain times, but I enjoy being able to ride on the open road with others and being able to build great camaraderie with people across the country.
Okay. I have another question. This is a twofer. Who who was your mentor and who was Butta's mentor, and are he and she still around?
Foxy, you go ahead. I need a minute to think.
Yeah, so my mentor has passed on, Miss Shay. She's since passed on. But there have been other mentors that I've had and I still do have. So I look up to the likes of Miss Showtime. Miss Showtime, in my eyes, is the oldest woman that we have still riding on two wheels today. She turned 80 in January, and I was blessed to be able to surprise her on her birthday. And I remember Miss Showtime telling Portia Taylor and I that it was time for somebody else to be the leader of their generation as she was to hers. And I took that to heart. And Miss Showtime is still with us.
Cool. My
Yeah,
mentor
she
down
was just
here is one of many, but one very, very dear to me. Her name is Miss Sassy. You know Miss Sassy.
Yes, I know Sassy.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes. That's my mentor right there.
Yes, Miss Sassy has been on the set and she's done a lot of great things in the South Florida area, and definitely deserves her flowers. And she's definitely still here as well.
Absolutely. Does the Proc ever go to the West Coast?
We're trying to get there. So the one thing about this cut that we tell people all the time, location is important. But the reality of it is we know that the West Coast is a lot more expensive for us to come out there. So we've been looking at it for the last several years. We've really been taking a strong look at it because we do see our bikers coming from the West Coast, but we need to make certain that it's still going to be affordable for people to attend. The West Coast can quickly outprice you. So that's the key for us. We don't want to have to water down the event just to say we went to the West Coast and it didn't live up to its expectation. But it's certainly on the table.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that we had come in about it going to the West Coast. What is the furthest west that the Proc has been? Is it
St. Louis?
New Orleans? St. Louis?
St. Louis, Missouri. Yes, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. That's the year that we had Mr. Toby Jean and Mr. Phil Baker from East Bay Dragons. And we didn't realize that Mr. Phil Baker was living within his last couple of weeks of life. He actually passed away, and we never got to see, his wife never got to see a Proc. And we're hoping to be able to get Miss Sheila to a Proc so that she can see what her husband actually witnessed, because he went back home and he talked so highly about it. So yes, we are looking to make our way out west. We just haven't been able to get out there just yet, but we're still working on it.
And you get that same amount of love from the West Coast in attendance at the Proc. You get a lot of clubs that come from California, that come from Nevada, that come from Arizona, Colorado, that support the Proc. Am I correct?
We even had Canada in the house a few times.
Okay. Yeah, any Mexican club, any clubs from Mexico come up?
We have two that's coming to New Orleans that have never been. They're coming this year.
Good.
Or next year, I should say, 2026.
Good.
But that's the thing about West Coast. You have to make sure you get those clubs plugged in. So now we're starting to see the roots of those clubs now plugging in. That's why we have a keen eye on being able to migrate out there. Okay,
nice. Hey, we got a question coming in from Diesel. Diesel said, is the 99 set considered to be the black set, or just is it the entire set, black or white? I'm asking because I don't see color. I see bikers.
No, the 99% is not considered to be black or white. You got 99% on each side. I like you and Diesel. Actually, that's my better half. But it is one set. But I think we see it as a black and a white, and it all depends on your riding. I mean, when we went to H-Town, so going back to what you said, Kut, about the event that you mentioned that's in Houston, we actually brought the Proc to Houston. And I remember getting phone calls at the last minute saying, they're not going to let that black conference come to Big Texas. You know, they and I didn't know who they were. But it was this narrative that was put out there. You guys need to get your money back because they aren't going to let that Black conference come to Big Texas. But I think it was a shock. And that was 2013. Because little did they know, those that were putting it out there, the national president of the Bandinos, Gimme Jimmy, was our keynote speaker that year. Gimme Jimmy represents the mighty nation of the Bandinos, which is a white dominant club. So it was almost like, what? Wait a minute. So if you were referring to they, meaning the white bikers not wanting us to come to the big state of Texas, we killed it. We had the Bandinos come, and he was our keynote speaker. I remember him pulling me back to the stage after I tried to go to do something else. But that should show people that it doesn't have to be white or Black. It can be us together. But I think it's also has a lot to do with your riding abilities and your riding style. You know, are you riding with more Black bikers than you are white bikers? And that may dictate who you see. You know, when we talk about bike weeks, if you're only going to Myrtle Beach, then you're probably thinking that this is a Black set. If you go to Sturgis, you may say it's a white set. If you go to Americade, you may say it's a white set. If you go down to Daytona, you may say, oh, well, you know, it is white and Black. So it really all really depends on what is your riding looking like? Are you riding with white bikers? Are you just riding with Black bikers? Are you only attending events that tend to be by one persuasion versus another? And if that's the case, I'm here to tell you, let's break it up. Get to know some people that don't look like you. Because there's a lot of people out here that we're sharing the open road with that don't look like us. And I know it was probably a very, to some, it was, how did you even get with the Bandinos? Like, how do y'all even know them? That's a white dominant club. It starts with me. I can't ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do or I haven't already done.
There you go. There you go. Hey, we got a question come in from Mogas. Can you see that, Doc?
Yeah, I see it. It says, is there a consideration in having some type of online training for some of these good topics due to limited in-person tickets during the Proc?
Go ahead.
Well,
Fox, we done had this conversation. she's gonna set it off for y'all.
Oh man, we have this come up quite often. A good question. I appreciate you asking it. But there's something about belly-to-belly connection. You can do a lot of online conversating and you can put things online, but to be honest, people get distracted with online information. Now, that's not to say we won't ever consider it, but right now it's not on the table. It's not a top priority for us. The top priority for us is to make more space and get more room for people to be able to have in front personal conversations and dialogue with one another and get back to being able to be a social butterfly. I think when we start taking things and tabling things to be online, we start to lose our interpersonal skills, our social skills. Like even on podcasts, I always say when you're on a podcast, be cameras up, face fronting, and be welcoming to people so they can see and connect with you. Online isn't doing that for me right now. It hasn't moved me to where I'm saying, yeah, you know, that's something that Butta, you and I and Lexi need to really, really consider. What I really want to see is us building real bonds in person and locking arms together, something I can't do with an online course. But I take your point, as I've taken it from many others. There are certain things that we could start to post about certain topics, but as far as having an online full-blown convention, that's definitely not a top priority. Our priority right now is to get more space so that you won't be in a situation where it's all tickets are sold out.
Okay, now I have to get ready to kind of go to the Q&A session this because we've been at this for about 1 hour and 45 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, which is awesome and amazing. Some great information is being put out. Like I said, we're not dropping nuggets tonight. We're dropping boulders. So listen, boulders. So if you have any comments, questions that you would like addressed, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. We're going to try to get them addressed to our panel. Tonight we have Butta on founder of the Proc. We have Foxy. She is the GM of the Proc. And we have, in the building, Dr. Remy, and we have Kut. And on our panel, we have 2 new attendees that will be attending the Proc. So by all means, shoot your questions. We'd love to get your questions answered. And we hope we see you at the Proc next year.
And I would love to after the Proc, after I attend the Proc, come back and talk about my reflection on the Proc and how did it make me feel and what did I see, and
so we're gonna do a recap.
Yeah,
a recap.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm with
Solo,
it.
we're gonna recap.
Yeah, we'll love it. Yeah, I
want
would love for you to do that.
I want exclusive because I know my dude Lavish, man. Lavish and Black. Matter of fact, boy.
Lavish be on it.
Lavish be on it. Love it, man. I love him. I love it, man.
Can I say something real quick about Lavish? Lavish was one of our biggest non-supporters because he thought, this is public conversation, so this is nothing secret. But Lavish was like, I ain't going to that. I know what I need to know. I'm good. I don't need nothing. He came to his first Proc and lost his mind. You hear me? He has been a faithful supporter ever since. He's a hardcore biker, and he just knew that the Proc was not going to scratch an itch for him. But we made him a believer. So all you got to do is just get to one. Stop listening to what people say. Just get to one, and then you'll understand for yourself.
That's exactly what I said, man. That's exactly what happened to me. I was following the crowd. Blindly, I guess you say blindly, but definitely want to sit there and say, hey man, you have some great speakers to come out. I know Bone 1%er is a speaker for the Proc. I know you also have Black Dragon who comes on. Make sure you go over and check out John Bunch, aka Black Dragon, host of Black Dragon Biker TV every morning. I think they come on at like 10 a.m. Him, Logic, and Lavish be on. Make sure you go check them out, like, share, and subscribe. Also, Lavish, congratulations on winning. I think he's the police commissioner up there in his area. So he has a official title now, District 2. So shout out to Lavish and shout out to that whole team, man. Shout out to that whole team. I think we got. I
want to say one thing about. One thing I wanted to say, KSolo, while you had the picture of Black Dragon. Black Dragon actually always talks about how he got his literary start, and it was at the Proc, believe it or not. Black Dragon started writing his books by coming to the Proc, and now when you look at all the books that he's written and a lot of the nuggets that he provides in all of his books, for all the positions, he got his start at the Proc. And so I would say it's not because Butta and I and team, we're putting this event on. I would just say to each and every one of you, come experience it for yourself. Give us your feedback because we value that. That is how we make things better. And we're not going to sit here and say we know it all because we don't. But the reality is collectively, we can learn together. Each one teaches one. And let's share the information as we get it. But Black Dragon got his literary start at the Proc. And it's a lot of folks out here, when you watch and you listen to people that's been ground pounding for a long time, they will also say to you that they've learned a lot of the things that they know today from coming. And I take that to heart. I'm sure Butta and team does as well. But we do our best. We put our best foot forward to ensure that this is not you just wasting your time, which is something that we know you can't get back, and definitely not where you're wasting your money. We make it to where it's affordable, because every conference that I go to, and sometimes I have wasted my time, costs so much more money. And we don't do that. We don't do this conference for that.
Look, Miss Showtime, look what she said. That speaks in volume right there.
Yeah.
She said she was amazed at the Proc.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. Miss Showtime, we looking forward to having you on the podcast, man. That's it.
I love Miss Showtime. Shout out to Miss Showtime. Yeah, that's my Shiro. I love me some Miss Showtime. And if y'all don't know, Miss Showtime used to be the phenomenal Tina Turner impersonator.
Yes, I've seen her perform.
But I'm gonna tell you, Miss Showtime is definitely my living Shiro, and I appreciate her so much. And like I said, I took her nuggets to heart where she said she was really looking for somebody else to be the leader of their generation, and now that's what I'm looking for. But Miss Showtime, if you don't know, Miss Showtime is the sole female in her club, Magnificent Seven, and she's their road captain. So women, you can be the road captain of men, because Miss Showtime is showing and proving that to be done, and she's riding on apes.
There you go. And is a beautiful bite at that. But listen, folks, I know someone shot a question. When is the Proc? The Proc is going to be the 22nd annual Proc MC Professional Convention, January the 8th through 11th, 2026 in New Orleans, folks. In New Orleans. They're going to be down by the French Quarter. Is it the same place it was the last time it was in New Orleans? The same convention hall?
Right across the street. It's right across the street. So you have the Marriott on one side of the street. The Sheraton is on the other side of the street, but Canal Street is the main street that runs right there where Bourbon Street is. It's one block up from Bourbon Street. But yes, we will be in the booth.
So is there no reason to come if the tickets are all sold out? I just saw a comment that said, no, we all booked. You need to register for 2027. Is there something to do for those of us who have not registered, or you need to just stay at home because this is not the place if you're not being able to come up into the convention?
Put it this way, Doc Remy. There's a lot of things you can do in New Orleans. You just won't be able to do it with us at the Proc, unfortunately. Capacity is a real thing. And if you are over capacity, they have no problems bringing in Fire Marshal Bill, letting you know that your convention is over.
Shut it down. Dang.
So that's the reason why every year we make it our business. Every single year, before we leave for lunch on that Saturday, we're already telling you where we're going for the next year. Now, some people may say, oh, they just want you to hurry up and get your tickets. They just trying to get your money. No, we don't need your money for that. We are all rightfully professionals in our own right. So this is not what we do for money. We know it's going to be a sellout. So when we're telling you this, we already know what the numbers are. So the reality for us is people have had a year to decide if they were going to come to the booth. And unfortunately, we're still now getting calls, and it's almost Thanksgiving. What you mean you don't have any tickets? You were at the Proc in Atlanta. You were right there when the announcement was made. So what was your excuse for not getting a ticket? So unfortunately, we have to deal with the constraints that we have, and capacity is a real thing.
Yeah. So let me expand a little bit on that. Just so people know, every year the Proc is literally a brand new event every year because we go to a different city and a different venue. So it's not like somebody's annual where they got the same hotel, they got the same Harley Davidson that they go do the ride from. They got a whole cookie cutter environment that they do. For us, it's different. We literally have done, at this point, 22 brand new events. So every year is a different year. And at this Sheraton, we had to work within the constraints of what our capacity could be for that particular hotel. So, maybe next year might be better. The year after that might be worse as far as capacity, but capacity is capacity. There's nothing we can do about that. So we've never been shut down, and we're not trying to get shut down. So we're not going to say we got, 10,000 tickets and we sell 12,000. And then next thing you know, they come in there and shut us down. So the best thing that anybody can do that ever wants to come to the Proc, because at this point we're selling out, is get your tickets early. Because when we drop them tickets, we sell hundreds within an hour. And I'm not being funny. I'm not being extra. We literally sell hundreds in an hour, if not less. So get your tickets early. And that way you are locked and loaded, and you're not trying to dance around at the very last minute and wait like these other folks where we in October and November, and now they scrambling for tickets. And these are people that have booked their rooms. Let's just talk about that. Like, how do you book your room for a Proc, but you don't have your ticket? It should be the other way around, Right. It should be a cohesive together thing. So there's folks literally in our host hotel with no ticket. Get them both when we drop them. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I know Lexi just dropped a comment. Lexi said full perk tickets. Where's her comment at?
Go
I
first.
got you, Lexi. I got you. She said
full perk.
Full perk tickets go first. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
Yeah, she said full perk tickets go first. You want to get everything.
Yes.
Right. That's the shirt, the bags, everything, all the paraphernalia, merch, and everything.
The food you want to have what I call all the things. So you want to have your breakfast, and we give you real food. We give you real lunch and real breakfast along with your swag. So those tickets, I can tell you in Atlanta for New Orleans, those tickets were gone in less than an hour. They were so serious about getting it. I mean, I would just say, even if you get a ticket, the one thing about the Proc, we do allow you to transfer your ticket. So if something comes up for you at the last minute and you're unable to go, there's always going to be somebody that's last minute with, or somebody that just found out about it and want to go.
Right.
So you still have the opportunity to get your money back, because there's going to be somebody that say, hey, you got a ticket, I need one. We have people posting almost every day right now. I got an extra ticket if anybody needs one. So even in the event that you may think a year is too far in advance to have a ticket, get it and just sell it at a later date if you need to.
Yeah, join our Facebook page. It's called the Proc. That's THEPROC, and you'll see people posting on a regular basis that they have tickets that they're trying to get out of. So, for one reason or another, their money might be funny, their time might be funny. Both, they might have other commitments that have come up, but they have tickets and they will sell those tickets without a problem on there. Just all I can say is that when you go to buy a ticket from someone, we do not have any involvement of you purchasing that ticket from that person. So make sure that you buy in confidence from whoever you buying from, because there are scammers out there. And while we try to nip the scammers in the bud, we can't catch everybody. So just make sure when you click on somebody's page, make sure they are legitimate people, and you can maybe do a little bit of background on them, vet them a little bit, just to make sure that you buying from somebody, to make sure that they selling just you the ticket, because they might sell you the ticket and several other people, which has happened. So just make sure that you buy a ticket in confidence. But overall, when it's all said and done for the next Proc for 2027, get your tickets early.
There you go, folks. There you go. Hey, we got a question. We got a question, and we're gonna get ready to start kind of winding down, folks. I know Logic had a question for Foxy. That's not it, but let me find Logic question right quick, because I know I want to make sure I get everybody's question answered. Logic said question. Let me get this up. Okay, there we go. Has the session addressed the motorcycle ministry and its role in the acceptance within the community?
Yes, Logic. We have had sessions to address that. In fact, in New Orleans, we have a few of the motorcycle ministries will be present to talk about it. And in 2027, I know we're going to have a large motorcycle ministry club that's going to be attending. This will be their first time seeing it in person, so they have representation coming to New Orleans, and then they're looking to expand that in 2027. But motorcycle ministries definitely are addressed as well. So you should come and share what you know about motorcycle ministry.
Yeah. Oh man, folks, there's that background music. Y'all know what that means.
Yeah.
We're out of bandwidth, Doc. We're out of bandwidth.
The lights have come on. You better grab somebody and get up out of here.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
That last song.
Hey, man, that producer, give me more time, producer. Give me more time. Oh, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I hope we got everybody's question addressed, answer. Foxy, but I can't thank you enough for coming on and doing what you do. Outstanding job tonight. I love you both, sister and brother.
Likewise.
Doc, Remy, yes indeed, yes indeed. I'm gonna go around the horn though. I have to go around the horn, and then I'm gonna let people exit as we go around the horn. Cut. What do you have for us? Anything?
Yes, I know this is Miss Foxy. Do you have any mentees, and are you looking for mentees?
I do have some mentees, and I'm always looking for mentees. As I said, I'm looking to find those women that want to take this thing by the horn and have me be able to push you forward. When people say, I want to be like you when I grow up, I said, I don't want you to be like me when you grow up. I want you to be better. So whatever I can do to help, that's what I'm about.
Amen.
All right, Kut. You have a good night. And thank you for joining us and being on the panel.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh man. So who's gonna exit first? Is it gonna be Butta or Big Sis? Who's gonna exit first?
Listen, I got to get up early, so I'm gonna go in here and get it together. So I'm about to close out of here. But that 5:30 be 5:30, and so I'm out. I appreciate the love on here, and if anybody needs me, I'm on Facebook. You can find me. Just go in the Proc group and then pose your questions, and one of us will answer. So we're around. If not,
right.
see you at Proc 2026 in New Orleans.
All right, brother. Hey, man, thank you very much for joining us, being on the panel tonight. Much love, my brother. You take care and have a good night.
All right, good night.
All right, Big Sis. Talk to us.
Well, I want to say thank
to
you
us.
to you both for inviting us on tonight. And we're super, super excited to be able to do this with you and be able to do a recap after the Proc is over. So I hope to see many of you in the booth, the city of New Orleans, January the 8th through the 11th, coming to you live. And hopefully I'll see you at a city near you soon.
That's right.
Have a good
That's
night.
right.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
goodness. Oh, my goodness. My sister, I love you. You take care and have a good night. And tell my brother I said take care.
I sure will.
Good night, Foxy. Hey.
Oh, man.
KSolo.
Woo.
Woo!
Doc.
Hey, what we do? What we do now?
Where we at? We knocked it out the park, man. We knocked it out the park, Doc. Oh,
Great
my
show
goodness,
tonight.
man.
Great
Brock,
show tonight.
Friday. Yes, indeed. A lot of good information, man. I love it. I love it when we put out good information. I want to send a shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight to the podcast for all the great questions that were asked. Shout out to Logic. Shout out to Big Pun. Shout out to Tone Tea Time, Nasty, Dahuru, Misbehaving, everybody, man. If I miss you, Luther Marshall, thank you. Moose, thank you for joining us. Miss Cook, thank you. C1s, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight on Riding with KSolo, the podcast. Tonight is actually Trip Talk, but hey, man, we're gonna bring it to you. If it's gonna be on Monday, where we're gonna be doing legacies, or Tuesday, we're gonna be doing Trip Talk. We're gonna bring it to you.
Well,
Good
hey,
deal.
we got a good one. We got a good one coming up Tuesday. We got Mr. Minnie with Lost Dog.
Lost Dog. That's right, man. That's right. We got Lost Dog coming up, and he's out of Nashville too. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's in the Nashville area. Absolutely. Retired Flying Panthers. And so we're looking for a good show of former Cobra from 1972. So yeah.
What? Come
Yeah,
on, man.
Hey, I think this brother, in order for him to get his cut, he had to reach inside the Cobra cage, you know what I mean, to grab his cut, you know what I mean? So I look forward to the story.
Inside the snake pit. Man, he had to reach inside the snake pit and get his cut out, man. All I had to do was reach inside of a saddlebag, man. Jeez. Nah. Hey, but listen, folks, make sure you tune in next Tuesday on Riding with KSolo, the podcast. We're going to have Lost Dog, the Vietnam vet biker street racer since 1972. Man, we're going to, hey, this is what I love. I love it when we bring our legacies on, when we bring our OGs on to share their knowledge and wisdom with us. I love it. I love it. But listen, folks, thank you, Mr. Mosey. Thank you for joining us tonight, man. We got to get you back on the show, Mr. Mosey. Chops, aka Chops, man. But listen, folks, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Riding with KSolo, the podcast show, with my special co-host Doc in the building, Remy. I gotta ask you, Doc, what do you got going on with your program?
Oh man, hey, today I had a meeting with the mayor, and we sat around for lunch with the Chamber of Commerce, and we just talking about more ways on how we can get our youth engaged and work on the social emotional learning. And so I'm just out here in the community, I'm pounding and I'm networking and just trying to build the bridge. So we are moving forward over here at the Sankofa Achievement Center in Nashville. That's what's going on over here.
I love it. I love it, Doc. I love it. Well, listen, Doc, I'm going to go ahead and let you sign out, man. And let's try to get some rest and get ready to fire this thing back up next Tuesday. You have a good night, Doc. All right. All right, folks, that's what it's all about right here with Riding with KSolo, the podcast show. You know what time it is. And also, I got to send a big shout out to my guy. I call him G-Dub of One Down MC. He got a podcast that he's just started up, man. Listen, One Down MC podcast. Make sure you go over on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe, man. Goldie DeWitt is putting it down. That brother is full of knowledge and wisdom on that West Coast, where we come on at 5 p.m. on the West Coast time. All right, folks, I'm out of here. And you know what my motto is? Aspire to inspire. And if you do that, you'll definitely be legendary. All right, folks, y'all have a good night.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Most Wanted, in the building. You already know the vibes. Inspired by KSolo the Writer. If you haven't tapped into the podcast yet, you're missing out. Go check it out, catch a vibe, and get inspired. If you're already tuned in, keep that energy flowing and that podcast on lock. This your girl, Most Wanted. I'm out.
Yo, it's your girl A Boogie. Big shout out to KSolo the Writer, holding it down with the Writing with KSolo podcast. If you love the open roads, good vibes, and real writer talk that hits home, this is where it's at. Keep it locked in, keep it rolling, and remember, like KSolo always says, be legendary.
Going on, good people? It's your girl Foxy here, coming to you live for Street Soldiers 20th anniversary. But I just need to let y'all know, if y'all out here at the 20th anniversary of Street Soldiers, you need to come and see the legendary, none other than KSolo. So come by and have a great picture, chop it up with the legend, the one and only KSolo, my brother from another mother. Represent. Back to you.